My dear students, I hope you all are fit and fine. Today, I am going to discuss the story Jimmy Valentine in detail. After listening the story, you can easily answer any question from the text. Okay. The story Jimmy Valentine opens with a notorious safe breaker who is stitching shoes in a prison shoe shop. The name of the notorious safe breaker or safe cracker is Jimmy Valentine. He has been in the prison for 10 months for his crimes. As the story begins, Jimmy is called to the warden office. And what happened? The warden handed him his pardon signed by the governor. Jimmy learned that he would be released the next morning. The warden advised him to live honestly and not to crack safes again. Actually, the warden gave Jimmy strongly worded advice to refrain from cracking safes and remaining honest in his dealings henceforth. Jimmy pretended that he never cracked safes. The warden reminded him of his involvement in Springfield burglary. Jimmy declared himself innocent. However, the guard took him to the cell. The next morning, Jimmy was brought again in the warden's office. He was given a rail ticket and some money. The warden also offered him a cigar. Jimmy came out of the jail. After his release from the jail, Jimmy headed straight towards the restaurant, ignoring the natural sights like birds chirping, waving trees, and fragrance of flowers. In the restaurant, he ate broiled chicken and drank a bottle of wine to his heart's content. Then he lighted a cigar better than that of one given by the warden. Thereafter, he came out and noticed a blind beggar at the door of the restaurant. He dropped a quarter penny into his hat and boarded the train. After 3 hours of journey, he reached the town and went to his friend Mike Dolan's cafe. Jimmy collected the key of his room from Dolan. He went upstairs. In the floor of his room was still lying Ben Price's collar button. It reminded Jimmy of his fight with the police before he got arrested. Now Jimmy pulled out from the wall his suitcase. He opened it. It contained Jimmy's burglary tools. It was an assortment of specially tempered steel implements like drills, punches, braces, clamps, and augers, along with one or two special tools innovated by Jimmy himself. Jimmy got these tools specially made at a secret place where these are manufactured. It cost him over $900 for the complete set. Jimmy felt proud of them and so looked fondly at his prized possession. Decently dressed Jimmy went downstairs holding the suitcase in the hand. Mike was curious of his appearance and purpose. Jimmy told him that he was going to represent a company. The name of the fake company led Mike to a roar of laughter. Anyway, Jimmy left the cafe. A burglary took place in Richmond after a week. Then two big bank burglaries occurred. One is Logansport, and the other in Jefferson City. The last one reported the loss of $5,000. In either case, there was no clue to the wrongdoer. Now the administration became active. Ben Price was called for. The renowned detective visited the spots. Everything was clear to him. He was confirmed that Jimmy was very much in it. However, the people assured, as Ben Price was given the charge of investigation. People very satisfied because Ben Price was given the charge of investigation. In the meantime, Jimmy decided to leave his present station. He came to a little town named Elmore, and on the way to the hotel, there he saw a lovely lady. Jimmy fell in love with her at first sight. The young lady entered Elmore Bank. Jimmy tactfully came to learn from a local boy that the young lady named Annabel Adams was the daughter of the owner of Elmore Bank. Jimmy went into Planter's Hotel. He signed his name as Ralph D. Spencer. The clerk of the hotel was deeply impressed by the dress and appearance of the fashionable young visitor. The clerk, when learned that Mr. Spencer had come to open a business at Elmore, suggested to him a lot. After a few days, Mr. Spencer opened a shoe store at Elmore. He had had a great success in business. His financial rise brought about his social respectability. He won many friends. He owned many friends, and on top of all, he met Miss Adams. At the end of a year, Mr. Spencer was in a position to claim her love. Mr. Adams approved of Spencer. Mr. Spencer and Miss Adams were engaged. It was 2 weeks before the day of marriage. Mr. Spencer wrote a letter to his trusted friend Billy. In his letter, he told him to meet him in Little Rock. His purpose was to give him his dear tools forever. He did not forget to write about his forthcoming marriage. That he was a changed being was clear from this letter. And one night Ben Price visited Elmore. From a safe distance he saw Mr. Spencer. That Spencer was going to marry the rich banker's daughter, that Spencer was going to marry the rich banker's daughter was known to him. The next morning, Jimmy took breakfast at the house of his would-be father-in-law. He decided to go to Little Rock to buy something for Annabel. After breakfast, the whole family of Mr. Adams came to Spencer's hotel. Spencer went into his room and brought along his suitcase. Then he went inside the Elmore Bank. Mr. Adams had imported a new vault in the bank. He was very proud of his new possession. He wanted all his relatives to have a good look at the things. Obviously, Mr. Spencer was there along with Annabel and her married sister and her two little daughters, May and Agatha. Mr. Adams explained the workings of the vault to the visitors. In the meantime, May, the elder girl, in the spirit of play, had shut Agatha in the vault and turned the combination knob. Now started a huge hue and cry. Agatha's mother screamed in terror. Mr. Adams announced that the system of unlocking the vault was unknown to him. Agatha's mother screamed and cried frantically, and everyone was utterly confused. Agatha would die of fright. The tension mounted up. Now Miss Annabel turned to Spencer. She implored, she requested him to do something for her. Spencer realized that he needed the help of Jimmy Valentine, his hidden self. He opened his suitcase and drew out his tools and arranged them one by one on the table. To the utter amazement of others, Jimmy got to work, and within a minute the steel door of the vault was drilled. And in 10 minutes the whole operation was complete. The bolts were broken and the vault was opened. Agatha, almost senseless but safe, came to her mother's arms. Now Jimmy slowly walked towards the door of the bank. He knew what was in store for him. At the door stood Ben Price. Jimmy welcomed him and was ready to give in. After the incident, his real identity was disclosed to everyone. So the presence of Ben Price did not count much to him. Now Ben Price acted rather strangely. He pretended that he did not know Jimmy Valentine. Jimmy was only Spencer to him. He strolled down the street and Jimmy was looking at him, wonderstruck. Okay, understood?